Welcome to Marvel Monday, and this Marvel Monday, we are going to enter the cage because we're going to take a look at Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. Killing two birds with one stone this time. Did that for 2 Tuesday as well. So, not only are we Marvel Monday, we're also entering the cage. And I gotta say, I mentioned when the first one came out, I didn't go see it in theaters, bought the DVD, brought it to my friend's house, and it was a thunderstorm. He didn't want to finish watching it, he got creeped out, and then I came home and I watched it. And I kind of liked it, but I gave you my feelings on it, certain things. And then, when this came out, I didn't go to the theater again because I just wasn't interested. And I bought the DVD. This DVD is the only copy I've had. And I put it in. By the way, just so you know, it was weird because I put this in and there wasn't a recording of Mike J on this, so maybe he didn't get to this one. The Nostalgia Critic fans will get that joke. But yeah, and when I first watched it, I was just like, okay, it's whatever, it's fine. But watching it this time, in all honesty, I think I liked it better than the first one. I'm serious. I think I liked it better than the first one. The Ghost Rider itself was in it less, but I don't think that really hurt it for me anyway. Yes, you still had your Nicolas Cage freak out moments with some scraping at the door. Just, and the whole Body of Christ freak out scene towards the end of the film, or whatever he does, just... Yes, but it's Nicolas Cage. To expect anything less would be stupid. I do like Nicolas Cage in this film, though. He's a little more subdued when he's Nicolas Cage until he starts to transform. And yeah, I also like the idea of him trying to protect a child from Mephisto, as I'm going to call him, or Rourke, which they sort of call him here, even though it wasn't mentioned in the first one. And this movie begins recapping the first one and what happened, and then we get into this film with Moreau, played by Idris Elba, who's French in this, and he's trying to help them out, but they don't want his help, and he goes to Blaze, and he says, I need you to help me, because this kid, he is in trouble. He's French, I guess, and so yes, of course, he helps him, and they do this thing where he's trying to, bond with him, and there's a scene where he's like, oh, what if you have to pee when you're the Ghost Rider? And he's like, oh, it's cool, it's like a flamethrower. When you actually kind of see it, it's just like, okay, sure. Although I feel like the mother... So, this mother is protected with her child. It turns out that when she was dying, there's a point where she was dying at some point in her life. And Mephisto said, I'll save you if you birth my child. Because eventually he's going to use that. But we're told here that Mephisto uses multiple vessels as a host, and that they burn out the more he uses his powers, which is why he wants Danny, the kid, because he can use him as a vessel that will never burn out. Now, I think this was supposed to explain why he doesn't look like Peter Fonda anymore, but at the same time, he's still called Rourke. Nicolas Cage doesn't flinch at the fact that he doesn't look the same anymore when they meet again. So to me, I think it's supposed to be the same vessel. Which is confusing. Why did they explain that if they're not going to acknowledge anything else? I don't know. And eventually, it comes down to meeting at this monastery. There's some other stuff. There's this guy named Kerrigan, who I don't really care for when he's Kerrigan, but when he's turned into Blackout, which I understand isn't the same power set from the comics, but I kind of like it. When he's turned into Blackout, I think it's kind of cool, because he enters this weird little dimension type thing, where there's like the spotlight, and touches people, then they dissolve. It's pretty cool. His look is a little the white hair, but the guy had hair kind of like that anyway. So, but I like him as Blackout, not so much when he was just Kerrigan, but you know. And so it comes down to this monastery where Moreau says he's gonna help get rid of the rider, cure him, because their plan is to just hide there and they'll be safe. Well, he gives him the body of Christ thing. It makes him look. And then he wakes up. His powers are gone. He also explains to him that the Ghost Rider used to be, I don't remember the name that he gave him. He used to be an angel, the spirit of justice. But he was corrupted by Mephisto and turned into the spirit of vengeance. And he asks him, do you feel any of the spirit of justice still in here? The angel, do you still feel it? And he's like, no, nothing. And then he gets rid of it. And so watching this, I've been paying attention to this. I'm like, okay, the kid's gonna give him his power back, but it's gonna be the good version. He's gonna be the angel. He's gonna be the spirit of justice, like that. That's not really what happens. But these monks, whose leaders sounds like this. Sorry. Christopher Lambert. Does he have to always talk like this? I feel like he could talk normal. This is how he sounds. He needs to go see a whatever, deals with throat problems. But anyway, orthodontist? I don't know. Get a throat culture. But anyway, yeah, and they plan on killing the kid. And now Tiny Place has no powers. But Blackout shows up and kills them all in this cool scene. And he's take the kid, and he touches the kid, but he doesn't cherry him, maybe because he's a thing. But he does it. It happens again later when he's holding Johnny Blaze. He's about to dissolve him, and Mephisto goes, stop. Or the kid says stop, and he stops, but he's still holding him. And it's not dissolving him, so can he control it? Or does it just happen when he touches people? It's very confusing. Very confusing. But yes, the kid brings back the rider inside of him, inside of Blaze, and he saves the day. But he is still the spirit of vengeance, because that's what's on the thing. And then after that, like the kid, there's like he stops Mephisto from getting away in a car chase. Yeah, I'm gonna call that out. Why? He's the devil. Why does he need to go on a car chase? I don't know. But anyway, it's a car chase. Car flips over. Ghost Rider sends Mephisto back to hell. And then he's, the kid's supposedly dead. And he's like, all of a sudden he's like, I can feel it. Moreau said that he was an angel. I can feel the angel in his hand. It's still a skull, but it's blue flame. And he touches the kid, brings it back to life. And that's it. He laughs. And then it ends. It's just like... And you see a little zinger thing heading into the credits where he's the Ghost Rider. Admittedly, it's not as good as the end, but let's ride. But like, he's all blue flame and everything. And I'm like, why didn't we have that in the climax? Why didn't he, you could transition it too. He comes out, he throws the flame down, and he starts turning blue because some kind of storyline reason why he could turn into the spirit of justice and use that as the final fight in this. That would have been better than it just having, I can feel it, and it's blue, and then that's it. That's all we get in a little stinger. We don't get much other than little bits and pieces. I get maybe the supposed third film that they're going to do would have had that, but that never happened. So Marvel got the rights back and used the Robbie Reyes version in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They can still do it now. From the guys that brought you Crank, says, I do think this one is overall better, though. I enjoyed it better. I found myself rolling my eyes less. I think the biggest one that made me roll my eyes was scraping at the door. Because as goofy as it is, the whole body of Christ part kind of made sense to me. Like, of course he'd be freaking out. He's transitioning. So yeah, I liked Idris Elba in this. I thought he was pretty good. I think all the actors did a good job, except for one. Kieran Hines. I'm sorry. I just don't think he was good as Mephisto. I think you should have found a way to bring Peter Fonda back. May he rest in peace now. But he was still alive. He wanted to come back. I don't know why he didn't come back. They just didn't ask him. But you got this guy, Kieran Hines. He has no charisma. He's boring. Besides the face melty thing, there's really nothing to do with that character. At least Peter Fonda had the charisma. Had that kind of, attitude about him. Here, it's just boring. And yes, the story about, taking a kid and putting your essence into him. It's been done before. Ghostbusters 2. He is Vigo! But I don't know. There's just less to be annoyed about in this one. I think it's not as bad as the first one, and I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. That was pretty good, and decent at best. Neither of these movies are good, but I actually found myself enjoying watching this. You know what I mean? Just over the first one at least, which I didn't think I was going to. That's why I kind of put off watching this for the longest time. I'm like, okay, I'll just do this Marvel Monday, and then I even put it off watching it today. So I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. And finally, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm put it in, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. I know it's not a good movie, but it's for me enjoyable. So a 7 out of 10 it is. So what are your thoughts on Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.